Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on the YouTube account and people have been asking like this and wanting this for absolutely crazy, guys. Now with the release of the Awakened version of Shamira, it is the final hero that we are going to see for 2023. As we get into 2024, we don't know what iteration they're going to go, how fast they're going to build out these heroes. Probably going to be every 2 weeks, but in addition, there should be another 6 Awakened heroes that are going to be released as the Phase 3 or the Tier 3 of the Awakened heroes. But where did Shamira fall into the tier list? Now, don't hate me, guys. We're going to hop over. I'm going to show you, according to early calculations, exactly where Shamira is being utilized and where we're going to see her kind of falling within this tier list. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. All right, guys. So here is the tier list. Going to do a little bit of a breakdown. Now, this is similar to what we did last time, guys. Now, this is a utility tier list. Now, looking at our SSS tier, we know the Awakened version of Belinda was down 1 tier, ultimately moved her up again with what heroes we do have going on and seeing the utility of these heroes. Now, this is actually from, I believe it is from a Russian or a Chinese server that kind of breaks down these heroes mathematically in the different game modes. So there could be game modes that, again, the heroes are super effective in, like the campaign in different modes. But a lot of that is based on a score that they assign to these heroes. So it is kind of mathematic when it comes to utility tier list and seeing the heroes to build out first. Now, number 1, guys, we have the Awakened version of Athalia and we have Belinda. Now, overall, guys, these have probably been 2 of the highest utility heroes that we have seen in AFK Arena. When it comes to game modes, they are used in every single game mode, even thinking Temple Rift, even looking at Treasure Scramble, Nightmare Corridor, Twisted Realm, Cursed Realm. Everywhere, both of these heroes are being used in a very dynamic formation. I've actually even seen a couple where they're running them together, which is kind of interesting with the SP effect, but putting them into that SSS class are the first ones that you want to build. Again, utility-wise, if you're building them up a little bit early, you're going to be using them for a lot of different parts of AFK Arena. Now, with that being said, guys, also remember that you can merc these heroes. So if a lot of heroes go out and or a lot of players go out and build, Athalia, or build the Awakened version of Shamira, which a lot of players have, you can borrow that hero and use it for the game modes that you do need that hero for, which is the reason, again, Athalia and Belinda, guys, coming in very, very strong within these tier lists. Now, looking at our SS heroes, you can see we do have the Awakened version of Laika. Again, seeing her in a lot of different game modes. And some of these guys are kind of like the 5-star of different game modes. When you look at the Treasure Scramble, when you look at a couple ones, without the hero, you actually have to build entirely different formations because you don't have the presence of the SP effect that the Awakened heroes bring, or you don't have the utility of the heroes. Now, we also do have Baden in here, guys. Baden, as much as I love him, has been holding super strong within the Cursed Realm, the Nightmare Corridor, a couple different variations that he has been working in. Don't know if over the next couple weeks or months that we're going to see this change a little bit. But again, these heroes are still having a pretty concrete place when it comes to utility in AFK Arena. Now, the Awakened version of Solus and Sophia, guys, are both in here. Again, looking at the dynamic of these 2 heroes, looking at the build, they are support. That is one of the really big things where, again, there are a lot of formations that these heroes are still being utilized within a bunch of different game modes, making them pretty imperative. Same with Matria. Now, the difference with Matria right here, guys, is having the hypo heroes. Now, there are a few game modes that do not require the hypo heroes, which is the Cursed Realm and the Nightmare Corridor. A lot of times she is run for the SP effect in different formations. However, when it comes to the Treasure Scramble, when it comes to a few different places, having the hypos in that combination, you have to have, and they are 100% required. If you do not have them, you are not going to see the effectiveness of this hero, and you're not going to see the full utility when it comes to the build out. Now, looking at our S tier, guys, we have Brutus, and I am super sad to say this is where they are placing Shamira as of right now, guys, is falling into that S tier. And the reason being, she is a tank. And the way that she works, that is really the big thing that a lot of players have been talking about, is with the souls, with the couple different, the SP effect and the skills that she has, not super effective in boss modes, which again, PvP aspect works well when you're fighting other teams, when you kill the opposing heroes. But overall, it seems in boss modes, we're not seeing a ton of utility. She is actually being run right now, which I'll show you at the end of this, but she is actually being run right now within the current Cursed Realm, but she is not being run in any part in the Nightmare Corridor. Again, unique with the build that they did with her, making her a tank gave her a little bit more of the uniqueness in there. And a lot of players also said you have to have her built out really, really high to see her really excel very strong. But again, when you look at Brutus still being utilized, when you look at the Awakened version of Shamira, and then of course Thane still being kept alive by the Nightmare Corridor and by the Treasure Scramble are two of the priority places that he is still being used. So again, there is still some utility behind these heroes. Now looking at our A, of course, we do have the Awakened version of Taylene, the very first Awakened hero that we ever did see in AFK Arena. Now, when it comes to the Celestial Tower, that is really the driving force for her being used. And it's kind of crazy to see because the original version of Taylene is still being used in a lot of different game modes, run with Orthos, even run without Orthos in a lot of formations, still having a lot of utility and a lot of damage in a couple different game modes, where the Awakened version making her a tank, not seeing quite the utility in there. And then, of course, we have the Awakened version of Aziz falling into the final B tier that we have right here. Now, of course, with the Awakened version of Aziz, there are a couple Nightmare Corridor comps that do run him just for the SP effect. So literally, you only have to have one single copy of the Awakened version of Aziz, and that is really all that you need to be super effective in there, guys, with this hero. So overall, guys, pretty interesting to see exactly where Shamira is being placed in here. And again, I think the effectiveness or the utility of her, we could definitely see within the next couple weeks. Now, remember, she has only been up 1 day. So it is kind of too early to tell exactly where she is going to be used within the tier list. A lot of players are just building her out for the nostalgia aspect that we do have with Shamira, and how effective Shamira is within formations is yet to be determined. Again, a lot of places, I know Reddit is blowing up with it. Discord is blowing up with it. The Awakened version of Shamira, where should I put her? What formation is she working in? Who should I run her with? There are a lot of variations, a lot of Greyborn heroes that they're actually running together with her. And again, looking at some of the other game modes like the Cursed Realm, she is actually being run with the Awakened version of Baden in formations that are working incredibly well, and seeing them as the whale comps, which we're going to go ahead and take a look at. All right, guys, so hopping back over here, taking a look again at the Cursed Realm in the Nightmare Corridor. Treasure Scramble just started, so I don't know if she's going to be used in there. My thought overall is we are going to see her used in the Treasure Scramble. Again, looking at the builds. But right here, guys, there is the SP effect in the Awakened version of Shamira. So she is being utilized already as the best in slot. Now you can see with her being a tank, with her having a unique build, and again, only having one target is what a lot of players are saying are really going to keep her down as we see her right now. But looking at this build, and it is a Chinese player, but overall, you can see everyone stacks here. The owl is going to buff them in their entirety within this very, very short area, which of course is just going to do a massive amount of damage. But we're seeing a new best in slot team right here for this version of the Grotesque Mage and of the Cursed Realm. Now, Nightmare Corridor, like I was saying, and we really gauge it on the whales that we have in here. We are not seeing her used in this formation yet. We have Baden in here. Right there is the combination of the original version of Aziz. But you can see we have Leica in there. We do have the SP right here of Solus. That is why we're seeing a little bit more utility with some of these heroes. Even there, guys, the original version of Solus, like we were just saying, the utility-wise in a multitude of game modes. And there is the Awakened version of Athalia. Lot of utility in a bunch of different game modes. I want to hop over and see, guys. I'm not sure if we're up here in the Treasure Scramble yet. Nope, we have another hour. But it's going to be interesting to see with her drop exactly where she is going to fall in the Treasure Scramble. I feel like this is going to change a lot, again, based on the build that she has, based on the heroes that you're using within the utility-wise, to see exactly where, if the Awakened version of Shamira is going to actually rank higher, or if she's going to rank a little bit lower within AFK Arena. But all right, guys, that'll do it for the tier list. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.